Hello, it's Kristen, and I am back with week 2 to start off now for this eBay journey. As I've mentioned before, I'm going to be trying to take you along with me on this path. I want to retire in 3 years or do a partial retirement, and that means getting out of the wholesale business model. We plan to relocate, and me being able to be more flexible and simplified. And to do this, to make, my goal is 15 listings a day, 15 items to sell a day with a $20 profit. I get this breakdown from, I'm trying to teach myself according to this tech and sports education model that he's put out there. And I figured this would be, the way I'm going to get started. And I mentioned I'm doing it mainly, I've been starting with what's been around my house. And in my week 1 wrap up, I had a great sale at the end of the week. So I decided I'm going to take some of the money I'm pointing behind me. I just got something to eat at McDonald's because I have been on the run between some different social and personal stuff since 9:30. And I went to the Goodwill here that's behind me. And I've been in there for like 3 hours. And I spent this time to kind of get myself some education. And one of the things that I realized was that one is the brands that you would normally hear about, or things that you may say like, oh, that should be a good one. They're not really. One I could think of as like Lucky Brand, and the other one I can think of as like the 7 for All Mankind. They may have been like a great brand like 20 years ago, but they're not really anything now. So I'm having to learn what's the relevant stuff and what's going to give the profit of stuff. It's kind of just feeling around. Different stores are going to have more plentiful things. So I spent this time. I realized that today was Tuesday. It's the senior citizen discount day. I started off early and the store was very quiet. And as it got closer to noon, the store got really busy. So that's another thing I'm learning, is I'm going to really want to have to pay attention to what day of the weeks I'm going, what's the best time. This particular day, I had a gentleman that got me into a conversation for over an hour. And I was enjoying the conversation, but it was during the time when I was trying to look stuff up and I was seated. And it was a good thing for the conversation, but if I'm really going to be doing this repetition of stuff, I need to get in and get out. With the business model that I currently have, I'm really only going to be able to devote February to mid-September maybe in getting my listings and stuff, sourcing and listings done. So that means I got to do 30 listings a day and source 30 items a day so that I can put them in a scheduled draft and have them go out during the period of time when my main business takes off. So I'm going to have to figure out how that rhythm is going to go, and it's going to be tough because I'm going to probably want to cherry pick my listings and put the good stuff up first, but I'm going to have to just pace it out so that, everything continues for search and everything for eBay. So that was another lesson I learned. One of the other things that I know I have to address in this next week or two is I need to devote a place in where I'm going to store my listed stuff. I do have a warehouse for the business, but we use that whole space, and I have to bring in storage containers for the season of Christmas for all of the goods that we bring in. So using the warehouse is really not something we can even consider. I have an area in my basement that I'm thinking I want to designate, but I have to list the stuff that's there to have the space freed up to put the shelving. So that's probably going to be a focus for me this week, is getting through that area. And I'm sure my husband is going to be so thankful to get that stuff done. So I'm going to work on that. And I want to go back through what I bought. One of the things I learned, and I was really happy that, was that they give me 5 days at my Goodwill for clothing and electronics that I can bring back. So that was good. I took one thing back today. They didn't have a size tag. They could cut the size tag out of these pair of jeans. So I brought them back to no questions. They took them without problems, which was nice. So I want to go through what I bought today and start trying to get that listed. And I'll wrap up with just saying now is that, you know, my focus right now is going home. I'm going to start sorting out what I got. I want to make sure that I start putting myself into different piles so that I'm focusing on a special or specific amount every day to keep myself on track. So I will be back with a progress report. Hello. Today is June 29th. I can't even believe we are that far into the year, which means we are most halfway through. I'm shocked. Every year say that, and it's so funny. So today I went for the yard selling for the first time in probably like 15 years to do it for like a business. I maybe have gone here and there just for different things, crafting or something that I've done, but nothing like I did today. And what has changed in 15 years? Wow. First was our local newspaper has gone completely digital. Nobody's like putting yard sales in the paper anymore, at least according to what my friend Vicky says. She I think she still gets it. I don't recall. So this was really tough. There's a couple people I know, one in particular, their whole livelihood, their whole life, all they've done is dumpster diving and yard salings to sustain. I mean, God bless them is all I'll say. They're the nicest people. Anyway, I've reached out, and it's like we are so dependent in this area on Facebook groups and stuff. So I probably came up with about half a dozen of viable ones that I was going to go to. It has gotten a little, you know, hot here now. The humidity's started, and oh God, I can, like my whole, like I can just tell. Like I went out today, and I'm like, oh God, like I have to get my hair up. So some of the things was just like simple things, like, I know I need to take like small bills. It wasn't a problem, but it just does make things to get in and get out easier. I kind of forgot, like, I just didn't make the motivation to go. I wasn't even really sure if I wanted to go today, because one of the things I promised my husband was I was going to make all this stuff in the house like available for sale so that it could just get it gone. And I kind of was getting bored of the stuff. I guess because it's my stuff and I say it all the time. I'm like, just was not feeling it all. But I've been watching some stuff to get myself educated, and I was kind of like wanting to go out and start using that stuff. And I got some good stuff. Now, when I got started in yard selling, I was pregnant with my son, and he will be 22 in December. So this has been 22 years that I've been doing this. I started it because I was pregnant and I didn't want to have like a shower and get two, or at least try to ask for two of everything, because my mom was babysitting. So I did need the two strollers and the two cribs and but I couldn't ask for all that. And I'm in such an area where there was such an abundance of yard sales that it made sense for me to just go out and find stuff. And I was getting brand new stuff. It was insane, like what was going on back then. I don't know, like I said, the dynamics has changed. Maybe it's just because of the time that I'm starting to do this. I'm not finding the abundance of sales. But that's how I got started with doing the yard sales. And at the time, eBay really wasn't a whole lot of anything. And I was just like seeing stuff on eBay because I couldn't find things I wanted. Like the bedding set was so frilly. And I knew I was having a boy. And it was like, well, I wanted Winnie the Pooh, but I don't want all the ruffles and stuff. So I started discovering eBay back then, and I am saying I really do like the investigative tools and stuff, because back then I just had to buy what I thought would be good and put on. And from that, you know, I was very big into kid and baby because I was having a baby and having a boy, which was making it very tough to find like the cute boys clothes and things like that. And my eBay then evolved into Amazon. Wasn't even there. Amazon wasn't even like a thing yet. But it started to start seeing what was going to be for kid and baby based on what my own needs were. And then I evolved into wholesale, and I started going into the FBA model when they started that. So I've been in that I've been in that wholesale model for like 15 years, but I will tell you that the eBay really was good, or I'm sorry, the yard sale was really good, because I was able to pick up some things that led me to realize, like, oh wow, this is a good brand, and I didn't kind of know that before. So one of the yard sales today, I did pick up like some kids' clothes. This is a little dress here. This is a brand called Mustard Pie, and they're made in India. I remember going to a show and looking at this, and they were like, oh, you can't be on Amazon. So I never did them. So they are a boutique brand. I knew them from that. Some of the other thing I picked up, I knew from watching some of the other stuff, this Matilda Jane is a thing, but the market's getting somewhat saturated. So I did pick up a few things. I picked up that. I do a lot where I like to do them and be able to match up. So like she had the dress, and then she did have the pants that went with them. So it was a good, idea for me to get back into trying to see, because like Gymboree and Janie and Jack, they were a thing. I don't even know if Gymboree's not at our mall anymore. I don't even know if, I know Janie and Jack's still around, but I had my son in a lot of that, and I don't even know if they're a thing anymore. This is a company called Serendipity, and I just thought it was so cute, and she had like the little shorty pants that matched. I will tell you, I don't know about this brand. I know that a lot of the other stuff she had there was boutique, so I'm assuming that this is going to be a brand. So sometimes I do just take a gamble, but I will tell you that I do tend to source higher quality stuff in my wholesale business, and I have always. And you can start telling things when you're sourcing, just like things like the added like lace and the petticoats and all the layers. Like, you will start noticing things that just, you can tell that they're not from like Walmart or Target. I don't know how to express it. You start noticing the seams being straight, the patterns matching up. There's a lot of that kind of stuff that you start to take notice of, and I'll point it out when I go through. By me, I'm in southern New Jersey. The LPGA does come to Seaview Country Club. These were another one I took a gamble on. I think I'm going to just put these both in the same lot, because they're both like similar colors. They're from Greg Norman, and I looked them up, and they're not fabulous, but I'm hoping that maybe, because we do get a lot of people wanting to come down here to the shore and stuff, Seaview Country Club is probably one of the nicest in the area for the golfing. So I am hoping that if I lot them up, that I can at least get back and profit another like net 20 or 30. But one of the things I will tell you is, if you have a Facebook, or excuse me, if you have a desire, like there's things that you like to collect and stuff, if they have a Facebook group, I highly recommend that you get in it, because you'll learn so much. So I'm bringing to you right now, these were something that I have 3 different scents. The other 2 are on the floor. I do like Bath and Body Works, and I got into this Facebook group because I couldn't figure out how some of these people were some people in my life were getting these like coupons and getting these discounts, and I wasn't getting anything, and it was like, why? So I joined the group to try and figure out like how I could get myself into getting the coupons and stuff again. But one of the things I learned is that there is scents that they've discontinued that these people will pay money. I mean, a lot of money for. It's insane, crazy money. All right, maybe not insane, but like they'll pay like $40 or something for one of these candles. So when I got there, she had this one, and she had 2 other ones. One that was a Christmas scent, and hold on a second, let me get it. There was a pumpkin apple scent, and then there is some Christmas cider scent. So I asked her if I took all 3. She had them marked for $6. I said, if I take all 3, well, can we do a better price? So she gave them to me for $5 a piece. Not bad, because truthfully, I liked the scents. I would keep them for myself. But when I looked it up, some of these scents were going for like $20 to $25, and that wasn't that was just for the candle. That shipping was additional. But what I plan to do with these is I'm going to go to the group, and you can sell in the group, and I'm going to put these up because then I won't have to pay the eBay fee. So the first place I'm going to offer them to is these people in the group. And then if nobody really bites, then I'll go and put them onto eBay. And if they don't sell, like I said, no harm, no foul, I'll just use them for myself. So just different strategies to keep in mind when you're sourcing stuff. Really use a lot of your own personal tastes and hobbies for a way of sourcing. So one of the other yard sales I went to today, sometimes I just like to go and source the style. This is such, oh my God, if this doesn't scream like something my dad would have worn in the 70s. It is from Goodwill, made in Canada. It says it's a triple XL. I'm going to tell you the truth, I really feel like it's like a regular XL, but it's just that French terry, like your bath towel. Does this look like some leisure wear to you? Oh my God. So this was 50 cents, no big deal. These people really wore their clothes and shoes hard. I'm going to just tell you, I really wasn't wanting to spend a whole lot of time. She didn't have a lot of really brand name stuff for herself, but I did find a pair of Croc. These are light ride Crocs. Kind of look like a water shoe to me, but they really didn't have a lot of wear. I mean, there's dirt on the bottom, but I'm thinking this is something that she just did not really care to wear. She had them marked $5, but I'm going to tell you, they were making deals. She had a lot of stuff out. We're getting a storm for tomorrow, so she's only going to be able to do it for today. So she was like, fine, do that. I don't know anything about these, but oh my God, if this does not make you laugh. This is some kind of hand crocheted like doily that's all ruffly. Does this like scream like 1970s? So when I was putting my stuff together, I'm like, oh, how much? There's 2 of them. She's like, just take them. She's like, oh, please, just take them. I'm like, okay. So we'll see. I figure I can get probably 20 bucks. Anybody in that era of decorating? I mean, come on. You can't find that just any old place. Here we go. This is handmade, and it's Alaska Black Diamond. And she has it marked $3. Again, she made me a little bit of a deal on there. It's got some kind of signature. I looked these up. They're going anywhere from $30 to $40. If I can figure out my non-tech savvy self. If I can figure out, I'll put some comps in the video to tell you. I could not believe these were selling, like I said, for easily like 30 to 40 bucks. I'm hoping I can get this tape off. Yeah, this should come off all right. That's part of the problem too, is I'm finding like Goodwill and all, like, how are you getting the stuff with all the residue? But now that's good. So that was basically, I looked at the table, and this was the ugliest thing on the table, or not, maybe not the ugliest, but it was the thing that just stood out to me the most. And I was like, okay, there's got to be somebody that wants this. We shall see. And then one of the other things that I wanted to bring out and show, she has 3 of these on the table. And I looked at this, and I really was not, I was ready to walk by these. I mean, I think any of us that go to regular yard sales looks at this stuff, and there's always this like outdated, like just some kind of home body care kind of stuff. These were selling anywhere from conservatively $15 to $20, and I got 3 of these packs, and they were selling $15 to $20 a pack. So I'll get back with you on that. But there's 8 towelettes in it. This is that Avon Skin So Soft Bug Guard Plus. I'm assuming they don't make this anymore, and that's why people want it. So keep that in mind. Some of the other stuff I got was, oh, here you go. Who would think? There was this bag on the table, this Walmart bag, and this was just sitting there like partially open. Now, who would have looked at that? And I said, what is this? So I opened it up. It says brand new hand carder, whatever that is. Well, here It's one of those things that they do with felting for like wool. These things were selling for like $50 to $60. She had it marked for 20. Well, here, somebody gave it to her, trying to get her into it. I guess her neighbor, because her neighbor gave her a bunch of pamphlets for some fibers, some fiber chart. And there's also like llama wool or something in here. I don't even understand what this is. I will understand. Or alpaca. Colors for registration and show. No idea. So all of this is going up, and I told her, I said, you know, I'm really interested in that, but I don't really know enough about it. Would you take less? And she's like, well, just give me an offer. I just want to get rid of it. Somebody gave it to me. I've never used it. I said, how about $10? There you go. So, you see it's in my car now. So this was all one sale here, all this stuff here. The Matilda clothes was a different one. But this stuff, I mean, this lady had everything so organized. It was so nice. I do have a brand new in the box. I'm trying to do this. Old Sears. I'll show that in another one. A Sears fondue set. Oh my God, avocado of all colors. And she said that the woman's her mother-in-law died. Her mother-in-law was a hoarder, and she's getting rid of that. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll look at that later. So I'll come back with a part 2, because I do have there was a whole yard sale stuff that was primitive, and I think a lot of it was handmade. And I'll bring that back in a part 2. It's Kristen, and I'm back. It's July 3rd, and I'm doing my week 2 wrap up. As you can see, there has now been more sales. My 30-day one total is $1,017.85. And the flipwise I'll go through, I did have, I believe it was 13 total sales. The lowest one was this one. Again, I had sold some of these for the ceramic trees. They're those bulbs. I took an offer of $7.50. They paid $5.95 for shipping. With the fixed value fee, I believe that is the cost of them collecting the money instead of paying what used to be a PayPal fee. I believe we pay this to them now, is what that represents. The final value fee is $1.91. I did pay this 29-cent ad fee to promote this item on their platform, and the cost of shipping was only $4.02. So by the time I added up all of the items of fees, I got a $6.83 payout on that. This was purchased so long ago, I don't have a cost of goods in here, so they're considering it a return of investment of infinity with a 51% gross margin. This, they're saying, was 4 days to sell. Oh, I'm sorry, that was, I guess, the other item when I sold it, because I do have 5 of these total, so they must be grouping these items together. This particular one was 12 days from when I had it listed. Then I sold from the house this Nordic Ware quilted cake pan. This is a very heavy duty cake pan. I received an offer for $12.40. I believe I sent them one, and they took it, is what I think is why it's such an odd amount. They paid $11.60 to ship this. It was a very heavy item. I'm guessing I may have just upped it, let's say, and put it in the 2 to 3 pound range for calculated shipping, and it really maybe came in at 1.2, because they only paid $8.05 for shipping. I still have the 40-cent value fee and the $3.31 final value. The fixed was 40. The final value fee was $3.31. So when you add all those up, it came in at $12.24 is what they were paying me for this. So I basically, again, got the cost of what the goods are. All of the fees were pretty much taken care of with the shipping cost. I purchased this, I have no idea when, so I have a 51% profit margin with an infinity of ROI. This took 14 days to sell. I was a little surprised. I had a lot of watchers, so I'm surprised it took that long. I have my next 3 purchases all in that Stampin' Up! Paper. Told you I have a hobby where I make greeting cards and such. So I had one buyer come in, and she purchased 2 different prints out of 2 different listings. And what's significant for why I'm bringing this up is that because of the way I sell this, I make an offer that $6 would be what it takes to ship for one and $2 for the second. And she purchased them in two different listings. So she actually paid $12 for shipping, but my terms of service is that it should have been $6 plus $2. So I do have a $4 refund. What I'd like to point out is you're not having to pay the full $4, because I've mentioned in the last video I did that you have to understand that when you make a sale, which I did of $20, I paid the 40 cents for them to collect the money, and $3.60 was the percentage of the 20 plus 6. So I paid $3.61 in the commission rate. So they're taking $3.37 from me, and 63 cents they're taking out of what they charged me for the commission because I'm doing the refund. So I'm not coming up with the full $4. It's only $3.37. I did have a sponsored ad I was running, and it was a 54-cent ad fee for that. And the cost of shipping is not added onto this particular one because I must have it added in on the other transaction. So this particular listing, they're not giving me all of my ROI and that kind of stuff. If I go into her second listing, which should be this one, my cost of shipping, this was a different transaction. Should be, why is this not opening up for the transaction? No, this is her. I was able to get $22 plus $6 for shipping on this particular print of paper. The $40 collection of the fees, the $3 or the collection of money, the $3.88 is the 15%. I had an ad fee on this one of 59 cents, and my shipping for both packs was $6.13. So I charged her $8. This particular one I'm gonna get paid out at $17, and they're giving me a 61% net profit. So I'd have to really look and put the two together to figure out like what my profit on that was, but it's still, again, I think it came out to be a pretty good amount just to get some stuff out of my house. I did have another purchase of some of the paper from another buyer that was the $22 and then $6 for shipping. That particular one cost me $6.13, so it's coming out to the same amount of $17. That's why I'm getting confused. But there was two different buyers with two different prints. What they're pulling into Flipwise is the overall thumbnail picture and not the one specific to the print that they picked, because these are listed in a multi-variation, so I'm assuming that's why they're doing that. I wanted to bring up, starting to go through this, this is now going to be the number, this is the fourth highest item. This was an item I bought at a yard sale many years ago. It has a flaw on here. This up here on the handle looks like it was a thumbprint at some point. It is missing the clapper in there for a bell. But when I went to list this, there was no sold comps. It is a Fenton item, so I knew it was going to be desirable. I had a lot of things going for it as far as this is part of a collection. There was 4 seasons. This was the summer version. So I listed it for $50. It was on the platform for 12 days. When I got this $25 offer and I took it, I said, I think I paid $1 at a yard sale many, many years ago. For even the flaws, I was happy. I took my $25 and I ran. I charged $8.60 for shipping, probably because I figured I wasn't sure if this was going to be able to go under a pound. But the cost of shipping was $6.52. So there was the 40 cents for collection of money, the $4.90 for the commission. And when you add all those up, I came down to a $21.78 net return. Did not think that was very bad, again, for something that's just been sitting on a bookshelf in my house collecting dust. They consider it infinity because I don't have a cost of goods, and a net profit of $65. So coming in at the number 6 spot was the shirt I picked up at Goodwill. Who knew that the Philadelphia Cricket Club was a thing? I had no idea. I sold this in 21 hours, which was surprising to me. There was no real particular one that was exact to this. There was other ones that were made by like a Nike brand and stuff. Where this, if you can look up here at the tag, was the specific Cricket Club themselves. I took an offer of $34. Again, I just took the money to run. I paid, I charged $8.60 for shipping, paid the 40 cents for the collection of the fees, or the funds. $6.07 was my final value fee, and I paid $5.15 for the cost of shipping. So that left me with $26.99. Down here, I did have $3.99 that I paid for the cost of goods. So if you take that $3.99 out of there, I'm left with $23. Not bad. It gave me a 676% ROI and a 63% profit margin. Phenomenal, in my opinion. I was very happy with that. Then when you get into the number 4 spot, this was a buyer that purchased 2 different things for me. These were items that were in my retail store that arrived to me damaged. They're no longer made. This particular item in its entirety is very desirable. There are these feather trees that are a lost art of Christmas goods, and nobody seems, I cannot find a vendor to bring these in anymore, no matter who has them. The vendor, basically, when they shipped them to me, I had different ones that were damaged, and they just refunded me back the money and said, just do what you want with them. So I put them on here because this one does have being listed as a no base. I show it with a base only just because I needed a way to prop it up, but it does not have a base, and people were still paying for these. If this did not have flaws, I'd probably be selling it for close to $90. So this person taking it for $40 is probably, even though they have to do a little bit of DIY to it, they're probably very happy to get it for that price. Again, you can't even find these if you would try to find them. They paid $15.60 for shipping, and again, I have no cost of goods in here, so 40 cents to pay for the funds to be collected, $7.88 for the final value fee. I have $1.19 to the sponsored ads. The shipping is $11.60, and the net return is $34.53. But, and again, they're saying it's a 62% margin. They also, they submitted to me as a best offer, but they also bought what was my second highest item, which is another one of these trees that was broken. Again, the tree's base is broken off. I have 2 of these in the same identical condition. So she bought this one at full price of $60 with $20 for shipping. So she paid a total of $35.60, and I was able to ship them for $11.60. So I gave her back $24 for shipping. And again, I only had come out of pocket $20.09. They gave back, out of the fees they collected from me, $3.91 to this buyer. So when you calculate all of this, I did much better, but they don't have all of the ROIs and stuff in here. I'm assuming because there's 2 of them and I did the refund on this. I'm assuming that's what it was, but again, I did very well with that one. In the number 4 spot of my highest is another item that was from my retail business that was just discontinued and found. I have no idea why. This never was offered in my retail business, but when I put it up, it sold in 9 hours. I sent them an offer after they put it in their watch list, and they bought it on my offer to them of $44.89. I was astounded. Like I said, it went like almost immediately. They paid $10.80 for shipping on that. 40 cents was charged to collect the funds. $7.74 was the commission, with the cost of me shipping to them being $6.06. And that left me with $41.49 for my net return, which gave me, they're considering an infinity. Truthfully, I probably paid about $12 to $15 for these, I would guess. So realistically, there is not a infinity return, but I probably collected back, you know, at least $15 or $20 of what I had put out, which is great. Or I should say a profit over what I had paid for it. So there's a 75% net profit margin according to what they put in there. This has probably been written off out of my business for years now. The number 3 spot is another one of these trees that sold actually today, and the buyer submitted an offer of $55 with a shipping cost of $16.45. This sold in 4 days, and they had a 40-cent flat fee, the $10.23 final value fee. I did pay a sponsored ad of $1.54, and the cost of shipping was only $8.11. So there was a net return of $51.17 with a 72% net profit margin. This does have a damage. It does have a base, but it does have a damage. So this person honestly probably can just put a tree skirt over that and, you know, still use it as like there was no damage to it. I did not realize how much the shipping was going to be more than what I had charged. So I'm going to have to reevaluate the shippings I'm charging on some of these. The problems with these are some of the boxes are going to be rather long and they're going to be considered oversized. So my husband was probably able to get this under the 30 inches. Again, because the tree branches can be folded down, so he may have been able to get it under the 30 inches, which would have saved us quite a bit of money. And then in the number 1 spot, this was like, yes, I was so happy for this one. I had gone into Goodwill and found this Lennox pattern that happened to be, as I mentioned in the first video, the exact pattern that I had myself, and I was like really like debating what to keep, what not to keep. And I looked at this and I could not find, I think one sold on eBay last year, and nobody has one now, and I really didn't know what to do with this. So I threw it out because I thought, you know what, I'm realistically never going to use a teapot. It's beautiful to look at, but I'm not going to use it. I paid I paid $9.99, or I actually paid $10.65 with tax on this item. I threw it out for $150, and the person came back with like an $80 offer, and we back and forth went with counter offers, and I finally took a $95 best offer from them. The shipping was $10, and when I go through, I was like, this was a great sale. I paid 40 cents for them to collect the funds, $15.11 for the final value fee. So you have to keep in mind when you start getting into these higher priced items, how much more you're really going to be losing in these. She did see this in a sponsored ad, so there was a $2.28 fee to them, and I paid $6.31 to ship. This particular one, I know I'm not doing anything back for a refund because this required a lot of bubble wrap and a lot of packing material to get that shipped out of here correctly. I had a net return of $70.25 with a ROI of 660% with a 67 ROI. That was my best for the week, so I was rather happy. I'm happy to see after the 2 weeks, like I said, that there has been, I guess if I go in here weekly, so there's been 12 in this week. I'm not sure where I cut off from last week, but they're saying I created 12 new listings. I don't believe that because I know I put 22 up in one day. I currently have, where is my listings? My total listings are at 120 listings. This is where you see the send offers, so I do take advantage of that and send offers out to people that will put the stuff in watch lists. As you can see, they have been working. So I've been very happy with Flipwise as far as how they're doing their ease of use and stuff, and their support, because I did have a very minor glitch this week, and they looked into it immediately. So I've been very, very happy. So this is a wrap up for, not so there's one order ready for shipment. What is that? Oh, I literally just sold something since we've been on this call. Very wonderful. So we've got something already to start next week off with. How fabulous is that? So this is where I'm going to wrap it up for week two, and we'll be back next week for week 3. See you for now. Bye.